Okay, so for number 19, you have two squared terms. They are both positive and you have equal coefficients, so that's what tells you it's a circle. Again, I don't really look at this other stuff. You just know it's a circle. So once it's a circle, you say, I need to get it in standard form in order to be able to graph it. So you get your x's with your x's, get your y's with your y's, you add your blanks. You move this 20 to the other side so it becomes positive, and if you have two blanks on the left, you need two blanks on the right-hand side. So now you get to fill in your blanks. So to fill in the blanks, you take half of that number, which is 1, and square it. 1 squared is still 1. Then you take half of this number, which is 2. 2 squared is 4. So you have a 1 and a 4 over there. Whatever you add to one side, you got to add to the other side, because that's how you keep an equation balanced. So once you have that, you can go ahead and rewrite this as a quantity squared plus another quantity squared equals my r squared. So that's a 25 over there. And again, this is kind of a spot. Remember, in real life, these could definitely not be nice numbers, but on the test or something, if you don't get a perfect square there, you may have messed up, because as the teacher, I want to be able to grade it easily and graph it easily, so I'm going to kind of make those nice numbers, just as a heads up. So you know you're going to have an x term here. Again, if you factored this, this would be x plus square root of that is 1. That would be 2 of those, so you'd have x plus 1 quantity squared. Here you'd have y minus 2 quantity squared. So it says find the working form of the circle, then find the area. So this formula, you will need to know it. It is not going to be given to you on your test. You need to know that area equals pi r squared. Well, the reason why I had to take this into the working form is because given this, I don't know what the radius is, right? You had to do all this work in order to be able to get that radius. So here, my center, right, would have been negative 1, 2, but they didn't ask for that. What I really care about is the radius. The radius is the square root of 25, aka 5. So if I wanted to find the area, area equals pi r squared. Well, that's just 25 pi. This is going to be a non-calculator test, so you would just, leave pi in your answer. Okay. The last one here. Now, I am very aware that you could just divide everything by 2 there to make the problem simpler. Again, how do you know it's a circle? Because you have 2 positive squared terms with equal coefficients. Now, it would make your life very easy here if you just divided everything by 2. But I'm purposely not going to do that right away because it's a skill we're going to have to use when we complete ellipses. Okay, so the idea is still the same. You get your x's with x's and your y's with y's. So 2x squared minus 4x, and then I wanted to leave myself a little space there, and then we're also going to have plus 2y squared minus 12y equals 12. Okay, so you get to there. Now, one of the rules with completing the squares is that the coefficient on the x squared term and the y squared term had to be a 1. Well, these are not 1s, they're 2s. So if it's not a 1, then you need to factor it out first. So in other words, you're going to have 2x squared minus 2x plus a blank, and then factor out a 2 from the y stuff. So if you pull out a 2 there, you get a y squared minus 6y plus a blank. All right, sorry, I had to do that. And I should have left myself some room, but that equals 12 plus a blank plus a blank. Sorry, kind of ran out of room. All right, so here we need to fill in the blanks. To fill in the blanks, it's the same way. You take this number, you cut it in half so you get a 1, and then you square it, and that's 1 again. To fill in this blank, you take this number, you cut it in half and get 3. 3 squared is 9. Now this is the tricky part. It's about keeping the equation balanced. So even though I wrote a 1 and I wrote a 9, that's not how I actually changed that left-hand side of the equation. So I really, if you would think about distributing this 2 back, I really changed this side of the equation there by 2 times that 1. So that's why I have to put a 2 over here. Even though I wrote a 9, I really changed that equation by 2 times 9, which is 18. So that's what makes this one a little bit different. Okay, so now to rewrite it, this 2 just comes down, and it's still x minus 1 quantity squared plus 2y minus 3 quantity squared equals, you still have to clean that up. So you get 20 plus 12 So you get 32 there. And when you look at this, you're like, oh, that's not very nice. So now I divide this by 2, divide that by 2. So then you get x minus 1 quantity squared plus y minus 3 quantity squared equals 16. So this is a circle with a center at 1, 3, and a radius of 4. So if I answer the question, they're asking me for the area. So my area is pi r squared. Well, r squared is 16, so it's 16 pi. All right. Now, go ahead and find your ring of knowledge and go back to that circle card. Hopefully this is the answer that you had there. Now you can complete example 2. So go ahead, you could kind of pause the video or give yourself a minute and try to figure out example 2. Okay, so I'm assuming you went ahead and had a go at example 2. So I will go ahead and work it. We are going to get our x's together. So we're going to have x squared minus 10x plus a blank plus y squared minus 4y plus a blank. And that's going to equal negative 20 plus a blank plus a blank. I'm kind of running out of room over there. I should have written a little bit smaller. So go ahead and fill in your blanks. Remember, to fill in the blank, you take half of this number, which is 5, then square it, so you get a 25 there. Then you take half of that number, which is 2, and square it, and you get a 4. I don't have to worry about any, coefficients this time, so I just write a 25 and a 4 right there. And now I kind of clean it up. So this ends up to be x minus 5 quantity squared plus y minus 2 quantity squared equals, so that gives me 5 plus 4 is 9. So this circle has a center at 5, 2, and the radius is 3. Now kind of bringing it all full circle. Now if I was asked to graph it, right, I'd be able to go to 5, 2, and then my radius is 3, so I go 3 to the left, 3 to the right, 3 up, and 3 down. And then I have another circle sitting right there. Okay. So again, how do these questions look on the test? Well, I could give you the equation in standard form already and then just ask you to graph it. I could give it to you in this kind of working form. You'd have to complete the square in order to be able to graph it. I could ask you to write the equation given the picture. I could ask you to find the area. So there's lots of different ways, you can kind of start to think about how the multiple choice questions could look on there. All right, I will be back on Thursday and we will start on ellipses. But for now, you can just go ahead and work on your homework.